Reagan was a Democrat originally.
Call the meeting to order. Tax committee meeting, May 30, 2017. Amanda, would you conduct the roll call?
Crumwitty.
Present.
McTaggart. Awful. Here. Hursley.
Present.
Whitlow.
Here.
Bicknott.
Yes. Okay, take a few minutes to look over the claims before we decide to approve them.
The mapping, the GPS.
No,
or the,
that's an election stuff.
oh.
The big one, it's just final thing like that.
No.
Could have voted yesterday, but they're playing catch up, I'm sure.
God bless you.
Any questions on the claims? What's that? GDS final payment thing? 10,000.
GDS is our election vendor, so they supply ballots, they set up our ballot, all kinds of election support, kits, precinct kits for all the polling places. So we have a contract with them, a 2-year contract, it's 8 installments. So that's just the final for this contract.
Right. Any other questions anyone has?
Well, it looks like we ought to be down about $11,000 next month with the final payment of our whatever contract. Says final payment, so That 11,000 we won't be seeing.
Yeah.
Just LEA, please.
Oh, that's just the final payment, Dan, on the current contract, so we'll start a new contract coming.
Oh, is it a new one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
elections keep coming,
Yeah.
so we have to keep having ballots.
What's LEAF, please?
That's our copier,
A what?
the copy machine.
That's the company that maintains the copy machines? That's the leasing company.
It's the leasing company.
The leasing company, okay. Okay. Further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims. And Jed, second. I guess we've discussed it already. I got a bit of my hand there, so. I assume there's no more discussion. Roll call.
Crumity,
Yes.
McTaggart,
Yes.
Awful,
Yes.
Persley,
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes. Are there any public comments? Hearing none. Any discussion points from the committee members? Hearing none, we shall move on to approve the list of tax bills to be voided. Need an explanation of that, I think.
I have the list, Ballinger, that's our trustee,
Uh-huh.
county trustee, sends the list every year. These are properties that the county has acquired through the delinquent tax process that will be eventually sold at auction. Am I doing all right so far? And of course, we don't send tax bills to ourselves because the county owns them. So this is the list of parcel numbers of tax bills that should be voided so that Mindy doesn't print and mail a tax bill to these parcels.
Okay, so they were billed previously but could not be collected? Yeah.
They were billed only when the county didn't own them, but now we
Yeah.
own them.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
correct. They couldn't be collected, they went to tax sale, then through the whole process, when the delinquent taxes are not paid by the owner, eventually normally it's a tax buyer that goes to court and gets the deed to the property, but when no tax buyers are interested, the county trustee acts on behalf of the county, and it's a company, Dennis Ballinger. Dennis is not really involved anymore, but his son Mike Ballinger runs the company, and he acts on behalf of the county, sort of like a tax buyer. Used to be years ago that these properties went into forfeiture, and I don't really know how that works because that was actually before my time. We've had the trustees with us for as long as I've been with the county, but it's a better process. It's better for the county. So we don't want these properties, obviously. We want to sell them and put them back on the tax rolls. And I believe he's planning an auction to sell these properties sometime this year.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll all sell. They don't always all sell, but hopefully they will.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're erasing all the tax liabilities. Is there a motion to void the tax bills? So, Troy, second? Second. Michael, any discussion on voiding the tax bills? Pretty much straightforward, seems like.
And it happens every year. We do it every year.
Okay. Okay, Amanda, roll call.
Crumity,
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
Awful.
Yes.
Persley,
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Sticknot.
Yes. Okay, next we'll move on to reports from the departments. Mindy, would you like to start?
We're hopefully gearing up to print tax bills pretty soon. We'll see what Lisa has to say about that. But that's what we've had our technicians come in and service our machines and get everything
Okay.
prepared for that.
They're well oiled and ready to go.
They should be, yes.
Okay. Lisa, would you like to report?
We got the final multiplier from the Illinois Department of Revenue last week, Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. The multiplier was a 1, which maybe Bob can explain that to you a little bit better when he talks, but that's what you want to get, a 1. So that means we were able to move forward on the tax extension process. So our next step after we received the multiplier was to set out tax computation sheets to all the taxing districts, which there's, I believe, 144 there to carefully check over the numbers and make sure that we have, the rates and their levies and everything correct. And they sign off on them and send them back into us. And we usually give them about a week to do that. Following that, and we sent those out last Friday. They were in the mail last Friday. So they're coming back in. Debbie said she got 30 of them in yesterday, so they're coming in pretty quickly. Then there's a few more steps when we're finished with getting those all back, and then we'll be rolling to Mindy mid-May-ish sometime. She'll be putting the tax bills in.
Okay. How is the schedule progressing? Is it on time?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a little farther behind than we were last year, but we did catch up a couple of weeks. And as far as like where we lie in the state, we're probably in the top 50% in getting our tax bills out. We have to get overlapping values from other counties as well, and if we don't get final values from them, then we have to use estimates or use their last year's EADs. Like the things I'm saying are not making a whole lot of sense, but like say Parkland College, there are several counties, that are in, Parkland College District. So we all have to work together, to get the levy amount money for them. So at this point, we've got about 50% of our overlapping counties with actual EAD values and 50% with estimates. So we're right there in the middle.
Okay.
It's been much worse and it's been a little better. So.
Okay. All right.
Referring to your question, hopefully, if I have them in the mail by Friday the 12th of May, then we can do a June and September due date. If it's past that, it will be June and August. Because of the publication in the certified mail, all those, you take your tax sale date and you back it up from there to figure out your due date. And you don't want to go past September 13, 14 for a second installment due date, because then that messes up your publications and your certified mail. So that's why if we get into that week of May 15th, then it'll probably be a June and August due date. Just depends.
Bob. Court.
Like I said, our 16 work is done. We're working on 17 now. Full steam ahead on that, and that's it at this point. Getting assessor's work's coming in pretty well, so we got to process all that and keep moving forward.
Okay. How is it working out with some townships lacking assessors?
Well, right now it's not a real huge problem, because this is the last 17 payable 18 is the last year of the last assessment cycle, 4-year cycle.
Okay.
The assessors that were on the ballot in spring last month is for the next cycle, which is starting January 1st of 18, and there are several assessors that did not rerun or contracted that are going to retire. So I don't know how it's going to play out. Obviously, I know who's not going to have technically an elected assessor starting January 1st of 18. I've had some other assessors that are currently working express interest in those contracting to those vacancies. But it's still up to those townships to fill those voids if they can. If they don't, then unfortunately, the responsibility to at least get the new property is mine.
Okay.
And that bogs down the system because then I'm never here in the summer.
Okay.
Because I got to go out and get all that stuff picked up and taken care of. And so it's a compounding effect. I mean, I do some stuff now, but it's limited. But if it gets after January 1st of 18 and we see where we're at, it could become a big problem.
Okay.
But I don't know, I can't, I mean, because if those townships hire other elected assessors from other jurisdictions and they get the work done, it won't be a big problem. But if they don't, then it could be it's not a question of getting work done correctly, it's a question of getting it done timely.
Okay. So it really is the responsibility first of the townships to
Correct.
handle this?
Yes.
Okay.
Marvin, I had a couple other
Sure.
small things to report on. In the statements of economic interest, they were due on May 1st. We send out there's approximately 1,000 people in Iroquois County that are required to file, and then we're required to send out certified mail to anyone who hasn't filed within 7 days after the 1st of May. So instead of just sending out certified mails to 100 people that haven't filed, a couple years ago we started calling people to remind them, and last week we were at 80 people that still haven't filed and started making the phone calls. We're down to 18.
Oh.
So at $6.59 for each certified mail, it saves us quite a bit of money by making those phone calls
Yeah, I would
instead of
say.
sending out certified mail to everybody. And yeah, still got a couple of days left, so we'll never get to zero. There will always be a few people that don't file. And then also, I don't know if this is, we don't need any action today, but I realized that our contract with Ballingers has actually expired.
Oh.
We always have had a 3-year contract with them, and the last one we did was in 2015, and that's when we were kind of thinking about or talking about maybe looking at other companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a 1-year contract with them, but it expired in, I think it was last May. So we need to, oh, there it is. Yeah, it expired in May of 2016. So we need another official contract with, I'm fine with staying with Ballingers. It's not really my call. You know, we did look at that other company. And I know we've talked about this before, but I believe, I don't know if Ballingers caught wind that we were looking at another company or something, but they improved a lot.
Okay. Yeah. I do recall there was a non-performance issue
Yeah.
there. Okay.
And,
I thought the company changed hands from like the father to the son or something.
it's
too.
technically, I think it's technically still Dennis Ballinger. I don't know what their technical name is, Ballinger Real Estate or Ballinger, yeah. But Dennis, the father, doesn't do any of the work anymore, it's now Mike. But, yeah, I guess it was, I don't know. So, I'm fine with staying with Ballingers if everybody else is. I know you guys both work with them as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe next meeting we might look at renewing it.
I can talk to Jim Devine, and it's a simple resolution and a simple contract, and see if he can maybe get that prepared, and maybe by next month we can get another contract with them.
Okay.
And if you're satisfied with them, I mean, obviously, that's a big thing, but it's complicated to break that contract because the tax cycle process is a 3 to 4 year process. So when you buy somebody out, how do you compensate for the work that Ballinger's done on properties for the last 2 years that we haven't got tax deeds yet? And that's where the rub is, kind of, because it's really, so then you talk about settlements, buyouts, And getting Jim to work on that, as busy as he is with trials and, you know, so, I mean, that's just, I mean, that should be it. I mean, bottom line is performance. He is better. People who've asked for his name, who look at the property, he's been responding to them better. I haven't heard as many complaints that he's not returning phone calls, so that's a good thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good deal. Okay, Anita, do you have anything?
Not for tax committee, no.
Okay. All right. Dr. Newsom, you're up.
So we received one bad case sent to the lab, came back negative. We checked out 10 dogs last month. We used the 545 and 0 We started the new state program last month, and it went very well. The first day, we did 5 dogs and 19 cats. And the second time we did 7 dogs and 7 cats. I want to explain something about the cats. Like I said, they have their own grant. So the county is not getting anything for the cats. The only condition is the cat should be feral cat. Yeah, it's not like owner cat by any means. And they should come to the facility with a trap. Like, you know, even like 2 or 3 cats in one trap. This is the requirement. They said like it's less stressful for the students to handle cats in a trap more than in a cage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But everything went fine, no complication whatsoever, only one complaint about a dog. And I checked the incision, it was absolutely great. The complaint was about something completely different, not related to the surgery. So I talked to the professor, Dr. Whelan, about we need to continue that because this is good for the community. And they are coming the 15th of this month. So it's going to be once a month from now on.
Oh, okay.
Unless you know we have more cases and something happens.
Okay. And just to clarify, it is at your facility, outside your facility, right?
Absolutely, which is kind of like a little bit of headache, but because we have to have one of our nurses with them all the time.
Okay.
And last time, on the first time, you know, when they did 19 cats, 5 or 7 dogs, they have to stay till almost 6 o'clock at night. So I have to keep open the facility till 6 o'clock. But again, this is the name of the game.
They do have to do recovery in your facility, is that correct?
Absolutely. So the system is as follows. Like, you know, the owners or the people who have the animals will come early in the morning around 8:30. They drop off their animals, and we put all of them in the cages. So that's why it was so busy, like, you know, 19 cats, 7 dogs, all the cages. And then when they come at 9 o'clock, they go by with the unit surgery facility. And then the nurse from our facility, she has to take one dog, because when we receive the dog and cat, we have to put the names and the numbers and everything. So we have to know which is which. And then this nurse should be with them all the time, because they do like between 2 to 3 surgeries at one time. So she has to be aware that, you know, this is the right dog at the right time, or the right cat at the right time. So she has to be working with them all the time. But like I said, I think, like I said, you know, they have to use the facility. Like, you know, we had a deal with them that we can bought the surgical unit or the surgery unit by the bar, the west side bar, and then they changed their minds because they need to use the bathrooms, they need to have cages for the animals, they need to have like a center for if any complications happen, you know, we can interfere. But again, I'm very happy about what they are doing, you know, and they are very happy as well. So far.
I commend you for getting this program rolling.
Okay.
That's great.
Is there a new contract that we should have on file then if they're coming once a month? Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
I'm just concerned
I
that
don't
we
have
have
any contract, but I think, you know, the first contract, it says like twice a month, like every, like, you know, in the middle and the end of the month. So if we change a little bit, I don't know, as a legal aspect, do we have to change the contract for once a month?
I never saw the contract. I thought it was just for 2 dates.
Oh, no,
not ongoing.
I can go back to the contract and look at it, yeah,
Mm.
and see what it is.
Yeah, I kind of recall the 2 dates on the contract, but don't hold me to that. Yeah.
But again, like, if you want to stop the program anytime, we can stop it. I can call them and say, okay, not anymore.
Okay.
And the other thing, I don't think he will come here without a valid contract, because they have to protect it themselves as well. But again, I can go back and look at the contract.
All right, well, you can let us know next meeting.
Okay.
Any questions for Dr. Yusuf? All right. Do the department heads have any further ideas for utilizing the animal control clerk in any of your departments?
We'll be doing a purge of our voter registration files this year. We're required to every other year. So possibly, so that entails sending out a new voter registration card to everyone in the county. So maybe there'll be some envelope stuffing or something like that that she could do.
Okay.
Can you use any help from time to time? You ever get backed up, or you can use? Pardon?
That would be up to Anita's discretion. It's not my decision.
Pardon?
It's not my decision, it would be up to Anita.
Well, I understand that, but do you ever get backed up? At the end of the day, I'm not done yet. I can see how that could happen.
Well, let's keep that in mind then.
Marvin, will I be able to use her? I didn't know if anybody had talked to Beth about it or not. When we do start printing tax bills, if it would be possible for her to come down and help with that for, it would be a couple of days, maybe a day and a half, 2 days. And then also once we start receiving mail payments, if she could take some boxes of mail payments back to her desk and do in her office.
I think
I
that-
talked to Anita about possibly downloading that piece of the software to her computer, and that is a possibility, so.
That's done.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that would be a great way to utilize her spare time then. Okay. Any committee discussion on that?
How would there be inter-department money then changes hands for services?
We haven't talked about that. I mean, last year, we had Mary Ann help in the thing, and I think we're planning on that too as well this year. And we didn't exchange any money between her department and mine. I didn't charge her for it. It was just a work together kind of thing.
Okay. Further discussion? Okay, let's move on to getting publicity out for the rabies clinics. Suggestions? As far as I can see, we may need to put out press releases in newspapers in the vicinity of where the rabies clinics are taking place.
I've got some samples of what we had done previously that we sent out to newspapers, and the radio station also got one of the two announcements. So
Okay.
those are samples that were sent out. So, this would be, the Gilman paper, Margaret doesn't have one anymore, and the
Okay.
Clifton newspaper up there too. But those are just some
Take a
samples.
look at that. Now, who could be responsible for that? Would the animal control clerk put that together, or is there?
Correct. That, when animal control was in my office, yes, that was part of her duty.
Okay.
And the file is over in that office someplace
Okay.
with all that information in it.
right, that's something then we need to look into and get that rolling. Any discussion on this?
That looks pretty good, right there.
Yeah, I'd say that's
Looks
well done.
very good.
Well done. Do any of the committee members see any need for taking a vote or anything, or just talk to the clerk and get it moving?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, is there any old business? Any new business?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.